Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well. First of all, I wanted to apologize for getting the dates wrong for the Easter break for Concordia. Actually, I looked at 2018 and it aligned perfectly for me, so I really apologize. And if this did cause a hardship for any of you, if you could contact me sooner rather than later so that we can address any issues that came up as a result. But that I don't want anything coming up at the end of the class. But so please, if you did have a conflict, if you could contact me now, we can solve that problem. Again, I apologize. My intention is never to cause you any more stress than you might already be under. Okay, I'm going to move on to our this week's assignment was our Twitter accounts. I use Twitter pretty much every day. I don't use it every day. I check it every day. I check to see what things are going on in my job, and what ways I can improve and learn from other people. More importantly, I use it actually to advertise some of the events we have at where I work at the County Office of Ed. And then I use it to find out what other events other people are having at their schools. So I followed a lot of schools, and I want to see what's trending, what people are feeling important about. So so that's something. Of course, yeah, offered to have you follow me, and just if you could send me a message, say, hey, I'm following you now, and that's pretty cool. I'd like to follow you back, and then keep an eye on your career, and it gives me great pride to know that you guys are out here changing the world. Um, so you're getting a lot of links through this course about who to follow and how to create your portfolio. I'm sorry, your professional learning network. And it's really important that if you're going to ever be leaving the classroom, I have to tell you the number one thing, I'll never waver from this. The number one thing about building your career, because you are building your career, is relationships. It's everything. You might have a lot of knowledge, you might have a lot of skills, you might have a lot of experiences, but nothing means as much as relationships. And I wish I could have a conversation with each one of you about how important this is to me, how it's been important to my career. But if you don't have relationships, you're not in the right job. And if you can't maintain relationships and foster relationships and nurture relationships, you probably need to start learning how to do that, because that is part of the administrative role, is to build and maintain relationships with all different types of people. I used to always tell people that every person on your campus is as important as every other person. It could be your teachers, it's your custodians, it's your media tech or librarian, your cafeteria worker, your parents, maybe possibly your homeless parents, your parents that have disabilities. Every single parent and every single staff member needs to be treated with respect, but they're all part of your learning. So that might not be your professional learning network, but how you treat them is how your people are going to see you. And so that's part of your network. Um, so, anyways, I want to talk about that a little bit. And so this is a real big thing, and I hope you keep it up, and I hope it is something that you put into your practice forever, because this is something that distinguishes you from everybody else. The other part is your next assignment is for next week, or week 5, which you will be in school for. It's a pretty tech-heavy course. It's a tech-heavy week. So there's a lot of different projects due next week. We have Padlet, Google Maps, Google Slides. That's a pretty fun one when you're doing the Goodnight Moon slide deck. That's a pretty fun one. Just if you could do that, something like that in your classroom, it's pretty neat. But there's just a lot of, it's tech heavy, so don't leave this to the last minute. It's something you were going to have to spend some time on to get to know some of these apps if you haven't already done that. The other thing I wanted just to remind you, and I've already reminded you a couple times, but I want to make sure that you have reached out to your partners with your assignment, because that's coming up on week 7. And I know it seems like a far away time, but if you don't have a structure of how you're going to work together, and you guys leave it to the last minute with the assumption other people are going to jump in and just start working on it, hate to tell you, that doesn't really happen. So please contact me if you're having any difficulties reaching your fellow partners here, and I'll help you with that. But I highly recommend, if you haven't done it already, I would highly recommend you do this by the end of the weekend. I can't imagine you not having reached out to anyone yet, because that was something I told you on the first week or the second week. So please make sure that has happened so that there's no surprises. All of you are doing a great job. I would have reached out to you if I had any concerns. At this point, keep up the good work. Your writing is outstanding. You're using really good scholarly writing. You're using good references and in-text sites. Your transition and your paragraphs are wonderful. Your depth of knowledge is coming through. So great job. So just keep it up, and I look forward to talking to you soon. All right, bye-bye.